Welcome. Thank you everyone for joining us today for our strategy session on how smart brands can support nurses, especially during this time. This webinar is being recorded and we will send out the slides along with the recording and some helpful materials after the session is over. We have a lot of information to cover in a short amount of time, so we're just going to dive straight in. On the agenda today, we're going to touch on three main topics. One is the total addressable market for nurses, profile of nurses, and the psychographics of nurses. We're also going to talk about some of the examples of brands that are currently reaching out to nurses with a personalized offer, and then dive into some best practices and helpful tips for brands to reach nurses. Excited to have three wonderful speakers today. We have Bill Schneider, our VP of Product Marketing at ShareID. Angela, when you present, I will let you say your last name because I still have yet to get it correctly. But she's our Senior Marketing Strategist here at ShareID and works with a lot of our customers and with consulting and how to reach consumer tribes. And then excited to have Graham Long here, and he is from the American Nurses Association. And so yeah, well, with that, I'm going to pass things over to Bill to get us started.
Okay, great. Thanks, Colette, and thanks everybody for joining. So we're going to spend a couple minutes here just talking a little bit more about nurses, who they are, what their attitudes are towards personalized offers in particular, and really drill into their mood and preferences today, particularly in light of everything that's going on in the world around us. So next slide. So nurses are a large and fast-growing segment in our society. They're actually the profession is growing faster than the industry average in the U.S. There are 4 million nurses that are licensed in the U.S. Today, and they typically earn, on average, about $75,000 per year, up to $100,000 per year. So it's a fairly well-paid profession. It is led by women. And you can see there that about half of the folks in the profession are under the age of 50. So fairly good distribution across different age ranges. And then I think, in terms of the mood and attitude and kind of sentiment around the profession, the words that we typically think about with nurses are dedicated, tireless, hardworking, and also overworked. And particularly in light of the environment that we find ourselves in today, that is more true than ever. The other piece that is really interesting is from a perspective of credibility and trust. Nurses are the most trusted profession that's out there as measured by Gallup. They recently did a survey and they found that sentiment held by people across the board, which is quite an acclaim and well-deserved. So now I want to turn to some recent research that was done in light of the environment that we find ourselves in. And unfortunately, the word of the year so far has been COVID-19. There have been many research organizations that have tried to understand what is the latest mood that consumers have, that people have in general, in light of what's going on out there today, and what is the role of brands in particular. And when asked across the board, and this is across a number of different research studies, how would they like brands to participate in what's happening out there? Overwhelmingly, almost 90% want brands to offer some kind of benefit, some kind of discount and benefit to health workers that are on the front lines and working tirelessly to help stem the tide of what's happening with the COVID-19 virus. Now, in addition, along those lines, consumers would like brands to really focus on purpose, to focus on selling, on solutions, not just selling, right? Focus their promotions and their effort and their contribution to what they can deliver and provide to specific focused populations, not just pandering to the pandemic and providing promotions for promotion's sake. And with that in mind, the majority of people feel that brands are capable and able to more rapidly and effectively provide benefit and response than some of the other institutions that we have within our government at the federal and state level. So I think that's really provides a strong hat tip, if you will, to brands, and shows that generally the mood is that consumers and the broader population would like brands to participate and help support medical workers at this time right now. Now, we also took a look, and Colette, if you can move to the next slide, we took a look at what do nurses feel in this time that we find ourselves in today. And we just got some research back just yesterday where we polled 400 different nurses across the country, and we asked them a number of different questions on their attitudes and how they would like to be engaged with brands. And you can see some of the data points here. So generally, the mood out there is that nurses feel anxious today, right? They feel overwhelmed. Clearly, they're on the front lines of what's going on today. So that, I believe, probably matches many of the sentiments and feelings that we share today, but it's even more acute for that population. They also said, when asked, how would they like brands to help in this time? 96% of them said, discounts, promotions, price benefits, doing what they can to help affected populations is something that they would like brands to see from brands, and would give them a positive view of the brand, and encourage them to shop more frequently, increase their likelihood to buy. Now, I want to direct your attention to the quote on the right, which was one of the typical responses that we got from our survey, trying to understand what they would like to see from brands. And these promotions and discounts don't necessarily need to be massive, but they need to be meaningful. They need to provide, per the comment on the previous slide, solutions to what they are struggling with today. And those are around some of the categories around takeout and putting, a healthy, warm meal on the table, providing beauty and personal care, having something comfortable to wear. Apparel was well regarded, as well as craft and home improvement products. Now, what I'll say is, this is just a summary of the research so far. We're going to be providing more detail on that research on our blog and our website over the next couple of days. So please go back and check our site, and we'll share more detail on different categories as well and how that potentially applies. They also felt that personalized offers were something that they would be thankful for and appreciated, and they would share that with other nurses that they knew, and also promote that brand to friends and family. So there's definitely a strong brand impression that's made by these types of offers and promotions that brands can provide. Now, moving to the next slide, I wanted to share a couple of examples before we move it over to Angela, and she'll talk about best practices. So recently, there were two companies that we worked with, Headspace and Lovesac, that put new promotions in market to help support the medical community and nurses in particular, that I wanted to share a couple of different examples of how brands are responding. In one case, nurses with Headspace, they have a free meditation app that, or they have a meditation app, where they provide mental health and mental wellness to people through the application. They saw a strong connection that they could make with their services and what is needed on the front lines with health workers today, and they're providing free access to their application to nurses and doctors and healthcare workers for the year of 2020 to help them provide a little mental space, mental balance in their day. And I think this is a great example of alignment between the Headspace's purpose in helping people achieve health and wellness and supporting the healthcare community. Now let me move on to FabFitFun, where they are a furniture provider, where they have, you can see the image here of these great, luxurious, very comfortable furniture products, seating products that they have, and they recently provided a promotion where they provided 40% off to those to nurses during this time, so that as you can imagine, people are coming home from their day, they've got something comfortable to rest into, to recharge for the next day. Those are two great examples. We don't have data on those just yet, but with that in mind, I wanted to share one use case before turning it over to Angela on Cheap Caribbean. Which is the next slide, Colette. Cheap Caribbean, this was a promotion that was run last year. They switched from manual verification to digital verification, where they provided nurses with 50 free trips that they promoted, and nurses could apply to be awarded for those trips. And they had great response. 8,000 nurses had signed up. They got great pickup in the media and social media, and they were able to essentially grow their list with 8,000 new names that saw increased engagement, 2x of their industry average. So it gives you an idea of the type of response that nurses have when they are recognized, when they feel appreciated, and brands reach out to them, particularly in this time of need. So with that, let me turn it over to Angela, and we'll talk a little bit about best practices.
Great, thanks, Bill. Yeah, I'm Angela. My last name is pronounced Modulewski, and I'm the Senior Marketing Strategist here at ShareID. So I want to show you some more examples of what different ShareID clients have been doing, and just kind of highlight some of the things that are going to be the most important while you're thinking about setting up a program, or if you already have one and you're looking to optimize it and spread the word a little bit more. So what all of the brands that Bill just mentioned had in common is that they're all giving nurses really great offers. These are definitely the best offers they have available. You're not going to find it on Retail Me Not. You're not going to find something better on Coupon Cabin. These are really great offers. So Headspace is doing that free plus account. Lovesac's discount is usually 5%, and they've increased it to 40%. And the FabFitFun subscription box that they gave away was a $200 value. So it was a lot of really nice products that nurses really appreciated. So now is not a good time to offer something really skinny, something that doesn't resonate, or something that could be perceived as self-serving. That's when you're going to see a little bit of a backlash. It needs to be something that is providing value to the nurses. On the next slide, we'll go into messaging a little bit. So in addition to the brands that Bill highlighted, I also wanted to show you Lowe's and Brooklyn Bedding, because I think they're doing a really great job with their messaging. I've given you some examples here of different messages that resonate. You'll notice that the thing they have in common is that they're all very comforting. They're expressing gratitude. They talk about compassion and dedication. You really want to make nurses feel supported and seen and appreciated. So Brooklyn Bedding, their tagline for the campaign is "From our family to yours," which is really nice. Headspace went with "You're here for them and we're here for you." So you're acknowledging their service and then you're offering support. And then Lowe's has more of a rallying call. They're supporting the community around the nurses and saying, hey, let's get together. Let's create this DIY thank you. Let's build together. We're all in this together and we need to support healthcare workers. So I think those are all really great examples. On the next slide, we're looking at partnerships and ways that you can work with community organizations, nonprofits. So actions do speak louder than words, and the nurses definitely take notice when you're doing something that actually helps them, makes their job easier, help the community. So think about groups that you can support or partner with. Here you'll see that Brooklyn Bedding is actually making hospital beds for medical facilities. They're expanding so that they can take care of more patients. So that's very timely, it's very helpful, it's an urgent need, and it's a way that they could step up and make a difference. You'll see that Brooklyn Bedding and Lowe's have both produced or donated masks from their warehouses. So they heard that there was a need for masks for nurses to help keep them safe, and they found a way to help reach that goal and make a difference and keep everybody safe in this difficult time. Headspace is focused on mental health, and so they're partnering with the National Health Service in the UK, which makes a lot of sense. So what you want to look for is an organization that's respected, that's actually making a difference. And then you want to be sure to share those stories about what you're doing with the partners, accomplishments, fundraising, and just let people know how it's making a difference. So how are you going to get the word out about your special offers? We have a few ideas for you. You have your internal resources and there are outside channels. So there's no need to hide these promotions. As Bill said, 89% of the public believes that brands should be giving discounts to nurses right now and should be helping out healthcare providers. And the nurses want to hear about these offers directly from you. So the best thing you can do is really spark word of mouth and get people talking about what you're doing, because 97% of the nurses are going to share offers with other nurses. And that's how people are going to find out about it. So start out by using your most successful channels. If you have a lot of success on social media, be sure to post it there. If PR works really well for you, then that's a great place to start. Cheap Caribbean used PR very effectively. Bill mentioned those 83 press mentions that they got. That included Good Morning America and nurse.org. So they got great PR on the campaign. And that was very effective, and a lot of people found out about their giveaway that way. Lowe's has sent emails. They've also done social media about their DIY thank you campaign. The email went out to their whole subscriber list. They wanted everybody to know what they were doing so everybody could join in and create kind of a movement behind it. And then FabFitFun actually sold out of their offer already, but they are going to send follow-up emails so that they can show that there's ongoing support and that they're still thinking about nurses. And that is something that's really easy to do with ShareID. We make it really easy for you to create an opt-in, and then you'll have the opportunity to reconnect with this community as time goes on and things progress. Paid campaigns are also very effective, but I'm going to let Graham tell you more about those. So before I introduce you to Graham, I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper into social media and affiliate programs. So on the next slide, we have social media. And this is that FabFitFun promotion that I just mentioned. They gave away the subscription boxes valued at $200. And this was an Instagram post. They also put it on Facebook. They put it on Twitter. They were already very active on social. It was some place where they've been engaging with their customers. But there was a lot of activity. And in the first 4 hours after they launched this campaign, this post got 7,500 likes and 1,400 comments. And they sold out of those boxes in 6 hours. So it was a very popular offer. And that's because it's a great offer. You can't get it anywhere else. It's something that resonates with nurses. They're interested in those beauty products and personal care, something that gave them a little bit of self-care in a difficult time. And then they promoted it really effectively. They had a great message. It was about thanking nurses. So I think that's a really good one to look at if you're looking at what to do. It's a good idea on social media to post about community support. So Lowe's posted about their mask donation. Brooklyn Bedding has been posting about the supplies that they've been sending to hospitals and the beds. And that's actually gotten shared by a senator and a governor. So that message has got pretty wide. I also wanted to give you some tips for paid campaigns. I think lookalike audiences are the biggest place where our clients have seen a lot of success. So that's definitely something to think about. But if you're building a new list, you haven't reached out to nurses before, there's a couple of ideas that will get you started. And then I just wanted to look at affiliate promotions real quick. So I think this is a channel that's often overlooked, but if you have an affiliate program, this is a really quick, simple, effective channel to consider. Publishers are actively looking for this content right now. They want to post things that are special for nurses. They want to show how brands are supporting the community, and they want to publish discounts. Those are always popular with affiliate programs. All you have to do is log into your network and post the links or create banners and post the banners. And then the publishers are going to find your offers and they're going to post it and promote it for you. So I just like to point that out because it is a good way to push these programs, and it's something that people don't always think about. So now I'm going to introduce you to Graham with the American Nurses Association, and he can tell you a little bit more about what they do and some more marketing ideas.
Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you're sitting. We're really excited to kick this off with Share ID. So we have been working with them for a few months now. What was initially supposed to be an appreciation marketplace for nurses, similar to what you see for veterans and firefighters and other audiences like that. What we've done right now, because of what's happening out, in healthcare right now, is we've really shifted the focus from just a thank you to nurses around National Nurses Month, which is the month of May, and really setting this up more as a resource to connect them with brands that are trying to help support these nurses through this difficult time. As Bill mentioned earlier, that Gallup survey, it's actually almost been 2 decades where nursing has been the #1 most trusted profession. And so, they've always been universally loved, but not as appreciated as some of those other audiences. And so I think what we're seeing now is nurses have become the focal middle point of this healthcare crisis. And we have received just unprecedented support from companies, whether it's free hotel nights so that nurses don't have to bring these, don't have to go back to their families and potentially contaminate them, free food and drink offers, free apparel, masks and donations towards healthcare initiatives. And the ANA represents all 4 million nurses, registered nurses in the United States. But what we have is the ability to reach the majority of those nurses. So we have 1.8 million nurses within our contact database. We reach 5.5 million unique visitors a year. We have 250,000 members, and we engage with them through print, through email communications, through advocacy work, through social media. And so, the reach that companies are getting right now is something that we haven't seen before. And we're really excited to kind of leverage some of the programs that we have listed here to help companies really reach out and provide support to that community. So that RN Perks right there is the Share ID marketplace that is launched now, and we are just loading offers in as quickly as we can. We do have advertising on web pages and emails, so it is possible to reach out to those nurses directly as well. We do work with some healthcare providers on developing content to support these nurses in their professional development. And then, we do have the ability, because of all of the data that we have, to help with geo-targeting and those types of things. Next slide, please. So on the left, you see the RN Perks, the marketplace, and you can go to rnperks.com or .org to see it. Because of the way that when we were launching this as an appreciation program around National Nurses Month and the shift, we are kind of retooling the marketing to get this up and to get these offers in as quickly as possible. But you can see some of the other channels that we have there as well. And if you're looking to get more data from nurses, we actually have a panel of 16,000 nurses that help companies all the time to develop the right messaging, the right products, that nurses want and need. And we'd be more than happy to connect you with those as well. Next slide, please. And so one of the things that we're really trying to do as a nonprofit organization, typically there is a 3% commission, almost like an affiliate marketing commission, but we're trying to get the best possible value for these nurses, and we're not trying to make any money for this foreseeable future. So we're looking at about a 90-day time frame where any company that has an offer that they would like to provide to nurses that they think would provide value to them to help them through this difficult time, we are happy to load you in if you are one of Share ID's existing customers. And if you haven't worked with Share ID in the past, just get in contact with one of the people on this panel, and they'd be happy to help you get set up so that we can incorporate you into the ANA marketplace. Next slide. And so typically, this is kind of a unique year. It's the 200th anniversary of Florence Nightingale. So it is the World Healthcare Organization's Year of the Nurse and Midwife. So the entire year of 2020 is celebrating nurses. Nurses Week is typically May 6th through May 12th, but it's extended through the entire month of May this year. And because of what is happening in nursing, the World Health Organization is looking to expand the Year of the Nurse into 2021, because this isn't just something that's going on in the United States. This is something that's going on globally. And I think that, companies and patients and families and communities are really realizing the work that nurses are doing day in and day out, and that might not have gone as recognized as it should in the past, but it's certainly getting the visibility now in companies that are able to provide these types of deals. Nurses really are advocates that speak with other nurses, that speak with their patients, and if they love products and services, they make sure that other people know as well. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Graham. I also wanted to highlight a program that we just started to help support the brands that are going above and beyond and offering a free offer to nurses or first responders or doctors in this time of need, that we are also offering free verifications for those brands that are extending their offer with a free offer. And we're going to be selecting 50 brands to do that. That is, we've looked at the amount of capacity that we have to help in this way, and we are selecting 50 brands to do that. So if you qualify for that, if you're thinking about or planning a free offer, please reach out to the account executive or account person that you're talking to, or just file a contact us form request up on the website, and we'd love to talk to you and get that program started for you. Here's how it works. It's pretty simple. Once we award you that type of benefit, you would then create the offer. For nurses, we have a self-service tool to help you do that called MyShareID. That would allow you to put the offer together. That would give your customers access to that offer. We would then verify nurses for free, and the benefit would then go to the people who need your help at this time. So again, if you're interested in that, please contact your account executive or account person, and we'd be happy to help you set that up. So with that, I think, Colette, we're at our end here.
Yep.
And we'll take any Q&A that people have at this time. We've got a few minutes. I think we're pretty close to time, but we have a few more minutes so that we can answer any questions that come up.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Bill and Graham and Angela. That was wonderful. We did have a few questions that came in. Just as we are answering those questions, I'll leave this slide up as part of this series. Our next strategy session will be on Thursday, April 23rd. And in the follow-up email from this webinar, I'll send a link to that, but would love to have you join us for that. So looking at the questions, one that came through, how long does it take to stand up a new program for nurses?
Okay, yeah, I can take that. So we have a self-service tool called MyShareID that would allow you to select nurses, put your offer together, take all of the code that you need and put that on your test server just to display it on your site within just a couple of days. And once everything looks great, you just let us know that you're ready to launch the program, and we'll push it live for you. So the short answer is just a couple of days, and we have a tool to make that easy for you, and also services to help make sure that your offer is hitting the mark.
Great. And Bill, I'm going to keep this on you as well. Another question, how long does the free verification program run? The one you just spoke to.
Yeah, so we haven't set an end date on it just yet. The timeline is really, we're looking to work with 50 brands on this right now, and we've had a couple of brands already take advantage of this. Angela mentioned FabFitFun that sold out their offer in just a day. They were a recipient of that program, as was Headspace, and we have a couple of other brands that are coming down the pipe that we're going to be launching soon. So excited about that. But there is space still available. So if you are one of those brands that are interested in taking advantage of that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I think time is of the essence, and we'd be happy to work with you on that.
Great. I know there are a few other questions, but just in the interest of time and since we're over, we'll go ahead and follow up with those individuals via email. And just want to thank everyone and our panelists today for taking the time to walk through some of the best practices to reaching nurses and supporting nurses during this time. Again, you can register for our first responder webinar, which is up next. And after first responders will be a session on doctors. So thank you for joining us this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're at, and stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Great, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for including me.
Thanks, Graham.